Sometimes some people feel differently from what they look, so they go through dramatic body transformations to express themselves, win a bet, or be famous. Some of these looks might appear bizarre and unique that will shock you. Take a look at the most unusual body transformations. Zombie Boy Rick. Rick Gnest got his first tattoo, a Jolly Roger, at the age of 16. This was just a year after he discovered he had a serious brain condition and a large tumor. To treat the condition, doctors had to have nearly half of his brain removed. After spending time in hospitals waiting for the operation, he decided to live life to the fullest. After the treatment, Gnest got more involved with body modification, transforming into Zombie Boy. He is one of the few successful and world-renowned fully tattooed personalities. Gnest has approximately 90% of his body tattooed and held the Guinness World Record for the most tattoos of human bones at 139. Tattooed into a living skeleton, Gnest also worked in various sideshows and freak shows across Canada as an illustrated man. Not long after beginning his facial tattoos, Gnest was first introduced to the public in 2006 in a blog post on body modification e-zine Mod Blog, which was followed in March 2008 by his first interview, by which time his tattoos were largely completed. In this interview, Gnest clarified that he preferred the moniker Zombie to Skullboy, as BME had been referring to him. In August 2018, at 32, Rick died of head trauma after falling from a balcony on the 3rd floor of a building. Leopard Man Tom. Tom Leopard, also known as Leopard Man or the Leopard Man of Skye, was an English-born soldier previously considered by Guinness World Records to be the world's most tattooed man. He was also recognized as the most tattooed senior citizen. Leopard is said to have spent 5,500 pounds on his extensive body modifications, which covered his skin nearly entirely with a leopard-like pattern. Tom stated that he did not have any affiliation with leopards and selected spots solely because they were easy for tattoo artists to do on a grand scale. He was a Roman Catholic. Tom spent 28 years in service with the armed forces, including stints with the Royal Navy, and then as a color sergeant in the Rhodesian Special Forces. Later, he moved from London to a small derelict cave without basic amenities on the Isle of Skye in Scotland, where he lived for the next 20 years as a hermit. He would travel by kayak to the mainland to buy supplies and pick up his pension and groceries once a week. In 2008, he moved to a larger house in Broadford, Skye, followed by sheltered accommodation in a retirement home on the outskirts of the city of Inverness. Although he was replaced by Lucky Diamond Rich on the Guinness Book as the most tattooed man, he was distinguished as the most tattooed male senior citizen. Tom died at age 80 on the 12th of June 2016. His title went to Charles Hemke, whose body is 97.5% covered in tattoos. Do you think this is a good form of personal branding? Please share your thoughts and hit the like button for good old Tommy Tattoos. Dennis Avner. Catman was the most shocking, strange, and modified person in the world. The Catman was an American man known for his extensive body modifications, which were intended to increase his resemblance to a tigress. For his 14 surgical procedures toward that goal, he held the world record for most permanent transformations, tattoos, and implants to look like an animal. Some find it bizarre, but the name Stalking Cat is a Native American name given to him in childhood by a medicine man of his tribe. Stalking Cat became well known in the furry community and has a biography on WikiFur. He fell into financial troubles and in August 2007 posted on his online journal that he needed a new place to live. His friend Tess Calhoun posted that she and her husband could not afford to support him anymore. She also posted that they would be throwing him a send-off party. In November 2012, he was found dead in his garage. He was 54 years old. News of the death became public 1 week later. In an online post, BME Zine founder Shannon Lorette wrote that his death was a suicide. Brian Zembik. A man took one of his bets so seriously that he got breast implants and kept them for 2 decades. Brian Zembik, a 55-year-old magician from Canada, was challenged by a friend to get breast implants for a year. Not only did he win the $100,000 bet, but he also went on to receive an additional $10,000 every year for keeping them. It all started in 1997 when Zembik was in a restaurant in Europe with some of his friends. According to an interview with E! When he saw his pal's girlfriend flaunting her ample bosom, Zembik told his friend, "If I had boobs like hers, I could get just as much attention as she would." It was at that time that his friend came up with the $100,000 bet and Zembik went under the knife immediately. You must be wondering how he could find a plastic surgeon willing to go along with this crazy plan? In fact, Zembik knew a plastic surgeon who was also a gambler in New York. What's more, he ended up paying for his boob job by playing backgammon with his surgeon for an hour and winning $5,000. The self-confessed gambler will soon star on Botched so that he can get his implants removed. Courtney Barnes, Miss Miami. An unusual people list has a Miami-based influencer determined to slim down her 59-inch booty so that people can take her seriously. Courtney Barnes, known professionally as Miss Miami, underwent 3 rounds of illegal butt shots at black market pumping parties. This began when she was 22 years old. But the 35-year-old is now planning to get the extra cargo removed. She has written a book to warn other women about the dangers that implants can cause. The influencer, who has 906,000 followers on Instagram, had an operation to reposition a scar. When she fully recovers from the procedures, she hopes to get reconstructive work done on her booty too. Ever since Courtney decided to downsize her curves, she's received plenty of positive comments from her fans. Even though she has gone through many procedures to get the shape she wants, she wouldn't change a thing about her journey so far. Booty injections involve getting volumizing substances such as silicone jabbed into your body. This is said to be unsafe as the fillers used in the shots can travel to other parts of the body with potential fatal side effects. Worth the look? Please share your thoughts on the comment section. Akash Shukla. Akash did something other men who feel short might consider unthinkable. He opted for costly, painful surgeries to make himself grow a total of 6 inches. At the age of 16, Akash Shukla had reached his adult height. He was not going to be any taller than 4'11", but he wanted to be just a few inches taller. His parents, 5'5" father and 4'11" mother, also wanted him to be just a few inches taller. They searched, studied, and finally found a way to make their son's life much better, and they had the financial means. Akash was well-educated, well-fed, loved, and physically fit. He only wanted to be taller and was ready to make it happen. Dr. Paley, a renowned orthopedic surgeon at the Paley Institute at St. Mary's Medical Center in West Palm Beach, Florida, performed 650 leg-lengthening surgeries on Akash Shukla. Despite the pain and financial pressure, patients like Akash say those few more inches of height make a big difference. Jackie Stallone. Sylvester Stallone's mother seemingly had her fair share of plastic surgery. From facelifts to lip injections, her face transformed drastically over the decades. Jackie Stallone has spoken about her plastic surgery gone wrong, saying countless botched procedures left her looking like a chipmunk with a mouth full of walnuts. Jackie Stallone, a celebrity astrologer and women's professional wrestling manager, died at the age of 98. When Jackie entered the UK Celebrity Big Brother house in 2006 as a surprise contestant, she instantly became a fan favorite thanks to her hilarious one-liners. Yeah, Jackie. Well, she appeared on the original Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling back in 1986 as the Glow owner and manager of the Good Girls. In fact, much like her son, Jackie took fitness very seriously. She was the first woman to have a television show on exercise and weightlifting in Washington, and even opened a women-only gym called Barbella's. Horace Riddler. Between 1927 and 1934, Horace Riddler visited famed London-based tattoo artist George Botched with a plan that would transform him into the greatest modern tattoo attraction the world had ever seen. After 500 sittings and 150 hours of tattooing, Horace became the Great Omi. He performed with many sideshows including Robert Ripley's Auditorium and the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. Shortly before his death in 1969, Riddler was quoted saying, "Underneath it all, I'm just an ordinary man." In 1940, Omi toured with the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, appearing as Omi the Zebra Man. He was billed as the star attraction in the sideshow, but left the circus after only 1 season. Arriving home in a war-weary England, Omi donated his services, giving free performances to troops and charity organizations. He also supported the Allied effort by promoting the sales of war bonds. Elaine Davidson. Elaine Davidson was a gorgeous woman at one point, but that might not be the case anymore. Don't trouble yourself. This is not the result of some accident. It was her choice. Elaine Davidson C. is a Brazilian-Scottish former nurse who Guinness World Record has certified as Most Pierced Woman. When examined by the record's official in May 2000, Davidson was reported to have 462 piercings, with 192 in her face alone. By the 9th of August 2001, when she was re-examined, she was found to have 720 piercings. In 2005, The Guardian reported that she had then had 3,950 body piercings. As of 2003, she had more piercings in her genitalia than in any other part of her body. 500 in all, both externally and internally. The total weight of her internal piercings is estimated to be about 3 kilograms. As of February 2009, her piercings totaled 6,005. You can bet she won't stop. I just wonder how she goes through airport scanners. And the passport photo opportunity to start with. Christina Brute. This woman has spent more than $176,000 for an extreme body modification. I mean, plastic surgery has gone too far. She had asked to be made to look like a former caricature that she had drawn from a festival. That's not the only shocking part. The caricature is a photo drawn of her when she was 16. Yes, this woman has devoted the better half of her life to looking like a 15-year-old cartoon character. Her very first corrective surgery was performed when she was 17 years old. When she was on the operating table, Dr. Dubrow was stunned to discover the implant in her right breast had completely ruptured. In May 2018, Christina revealed her heart-shaped nipples publicly for the first time while appearing on This Morning. The businesswoman funded her cosmetic procedures by opening her own hair salon and gym, and shed more than 13 stone thanks to NHS-funded gastric bypass surgery. In May 2014, Christina even got heart-shaped nipples tattooed on to complete the look. Do you think this is extreme? Farrah Flawless. Back in the days of MySpace, Paulie Unstoppable was a body modification force to be reckoned with. At the time, he was known for his incredibly large stretched nose piercings, as well as massive stretched ears. Tattoo after tattoo, piercing after piercing, Paulie finally found his true identity and came out as transgender. She now goes by the name Farrah Flawless. She looks so much different now. Farrah found a home in the tattoo and body modification community as a piercer and body mod artist. She explored many different forms of expression and helped others to do so as well. She added to her tattoo collection and continued to modify it over the years. Eventually, she tattooed the entire middle portion of her face solid black. Rodrigo Alves. This is a worldwide media personality who continues her sensational journey of becoming a woman named Jessica. Here, she is revealing her new image to her close friend. Although, when it comes to fashion, Jessica finds it hard to figure out what woman she wants to be. She loves going into shops, trying on outfits, and seeing what the latest trends are, as well as spending time in beauty salons to keep up with her beauty regime. Alves has had several mishaps with surgery, including nose jobs, which resulted in the loss of her sense of smell. Soon after that, she underwent surgery in Brazil to inject a gel into her arms to make them look more muscular. She lost the use of both arms for a while, and the experience led her to seek psychotherapy. In 2013, Alves was diagnosed with body dysmorphia, a mental health condition where a person spends an obsessive amount of time worrying about flaws in their appearance. As of January 2018, Alves had spent just over $520,419 undergoing 103 cosmetic procedures, including injections and 51 plastic surgeries. Alves has also undergone liposuction, had gel filler injected into her shoulders, biceps, and triceps, applies minoxidil topically, has had hair implants and a number of facelifts, wears tinted contact lenses, and has had 12 rhinoplasties. Some people just can't stop when it comes to body transformation. Mayra Hills. Mayra Hills, also known as Bishine, carries the world's largest augmented breasts. She is an adult model with 59, 28, 36 measurements. The breasts weigh the equivalent of a 5-gallon jug of water. She has 10,000 cc's of saline implants in her treasure chest, with each breast weighing 20 pounds. That's 40 pounds of boobs she has to carry around with her every day, which is a bit like carrying around a 7-year-old on your chest. Isn't it really unbelievable? As you can imagine, it is difficult for Bishine, who wears a size 32Z bra, to find clothes that fit. So the German-born woman has a lot of her items custom-made, but bra shopping isn't her only headache. She can no longer tie her own shoes and has to run into trouble when she's knocking things over with her chest. But it appears she's okay with her body, wide load and all. According to 2020 statistics from the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, the average cost of breast augmentation surgery is $4,516. This is only part of the total cost. It does not include anesthesia, operating room facilities, or other related expenses. Aw, give this lady a thumbs up. She deserves it for all the trouble. Rolf Buckholtz. For some, tattoos and piercings are an expression of self-identity. But for 60-year-old Rolf Buckholtz, it's a way of life. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, he has the most body modifications on a single person, with 516. German-born Buckholtz was not always into making himself stand out. He got his first tattoo pretty late in life at 40 years old, but then quickly became addicted to body art and began experimenting further with piercings. 20 years since his first fateful tattoo, Rolf Buckholtz got the record-breaking number of alterations to his physical appearance. His body modifications include 453 piercings, 158 of which adorn his lip, tattoos, and 2 subdermal implants that stick out of the top of his head like a pair of horns. Buckholtz first caught the world's attention in 2010 when he was recognized by the records book as the man with the most body piercings. At the time, his official count was 453, with 37 adorning his eyebrows. Buckholtz also has scarification markings all over his skin and more than 6 subdermal implants around his waist. Roughly 90% of his body is covered in tattoos, and not even Buckholtz's eyeballs have been spared the extreme transformation. Raji Naran Singh. Back in 2005, she went to an underground beautician named O'Neill Ron Morris for injections to fill out her face. She didn't realize that Morris, who claimed to be a plastic surgeon, had faked his credentials. What happened was far from the beautiful transformation that Naran Singh was hoping for. Apparently, Morris injected her with cement and tire sealant. She ended up horribly disfigured by her experience, though today she looks better than ever thanks to 2 plastic surgeons who helped get her back her face. Naran Singh was unaware of the harmful material for several months following the injections, until her body began to react negatively to and her skin began to swell. The fillers hardened under Naran Singh's skin, causing nodules to form where the chemicals were injected. Too embarrassed to seek help, she spent the next few years hardly leaving her home. Finally, at the urging of a friend, she went to see plastic surgeon Dr. John J. Martin. Martin agreed to treat her for free, began conducting ultrasound treatment, and started Naran Singh on a course of anti-inflammatory medication, which lasted several years. In 2015, Naran Singh was finally ready to have most of the concrete removed from her face, and underwent 4 surgeries in over 7 weeks, a process which was documented on Series 3 of the e-reality show Botched. Let's hear your thoughts on the negative side of body transformations. Jana Stoner. Stoner, an ex-model from California, appeared on the e-reality series Botched to seek the assistance of doctors Terry Dubrow and Paul Nassif and shocked the world. Her dodgy bum implants were done in Mexico. In a clip from the episode, Terry and Paul asked Stoner to shake her bum to show how badly the Mexican doctors did. Nassif explains off camera that he is very serious in front of his patients. Terry, on the other hand, is seen squeezing Stoner's bum. The doctors eventually concede that Stoner needs a butt lift that will take so much it will completely obscure the tattoo on her lower back. Dr. Dubrow is even more amazed that Jana is also able to use her muscles to move each butt implant independently. It's interesting that she can control each one individually, he says to Nassif, who is growing increasingly uncomfortable with Dr. Dubrow's behavior during the consultation. Indeed, as the doctors assess the size of Jana's silicone buttock implants, which they explain are 650 cc's each, the former model is thrilled that someone is willing to take on her case. Valeria Lukainova. Her improbable looks reached the West when her self-shot home video began drawing gawkers to YouTube. The Margaret Keane peepers, the head quizzically cocked like a sunflower too heavy for its stem, the plastic skin and wasp waist made her famous. The Western media were quick to dub her Human Barbie, but Valeria was hardly the first human to willingly make herself look like a doll. She wasn't even the first to earn the moniker. Some tabloid-hungry Brit had laid claim to it a few years before. Still, where others had dabbled, she went for broke. However odd her view of perfection, she appeared to have achieved it. In 2007, Lukainova won the worldwide beauty contest Miss Diamond Crown of the World. The pageant was open to any woman and had about 300 contestants. It had no rule forbidding plastic surgery or body modification. Valeria subsequently had multiple photo sessions and interviews published in Russian media, including erotic photos. She is of Russian origin. Julia, illustrated lady. Julia Noos's claim for fame was her skin, something she had long given her trouble. Born in 1955, Noose was diagnosed with a rare skin condition called porphyria when she reached her mid-30s. This condition causes her skin to blister when it is exposed to direct sunlight. For this reason, Noose began searching for a way to combat this unfortunate side effect so that she could live a normal life. She found a solution in perhaps the most unconventional of places, a tattoo shop. Starting with her legs, Noose began to tattoo her body with everything from jungle scenes to cartoons, even several of her favorite actors. Although she started her journey to full inkdom due to her condition, she quickly developed an addiction to the practice. Unfortunately, the ink did not prevent her skin from blistering in the sunlight, but it did help hide the scarring that occurred as an after effect. Before long, Noose was making records as the world's most tattooed woman, with approximately 95% of her body covered in ink. She was awarded the Guinness record in 2011 for the most tattooed woman in the world. She may have had an eating disorder, and that was confirmed as the cause of her 2016 death. Martin Ford. Martin Ford was born in Staffordshire, England. From a young age, Martin showed natural athletic ability and excelled in many sports to a professional level. This was the stepping stone to building a successful career in the fitness industry. His work ethic and training was carried over to other pursuits that led him to be an internet sensation, a fitness influencer, an online fitness coach, and a successful actor. The once 154-pound teenager ended up growing to 6'8" and has more than doubled his weight since. Of course, this was all muscle, not fat. Now 322 pounds, Martin claims to spend more than $339 on food each week. His rise to glory and bulkiness was not all rosy, though. He suffered from a cricket injury when he was 19, pushing all of his hard work down the drain. It was there that he plummeted back down to his original 154-pound frame, and he claims to have been psychologically broken. Henry Damon. You haven't seen crazy until you've seen this extreme body modification. A Venezuelan man named Henry Damon has taken the modification scene by storm. He spent thousands to look like his favorite Marvel villain. And if you thought he would look like one of the humanoid Marvel villains, you're mistaken. Henry's surgeries have become so extensive that he chopped off his nose, received head implants, and even tattooed his skin red to resemble Red Skull, the infamous Marvel villain. Henry, aka Red Skull, is a physically and intellectually healthy person. The next step for Damon, or Red Skull, will be silicone implants in his cheeks and further facial tattooing to complete the final transformation to the Marvel supervillain. He is said to be an excellent son, husband, and father who has an extreme taste for body modification. The surgeon who worked on this client, referring to himself only as Red Skull, mentioned the married father underwent extensive psychological and physical tests to ensure he was ready for the surgery. Which is the most unusual body transformation? Did you see any of them in real life? Let us know in the comments section. Like always, if you enjoyed it, be sure to give us a big thumbs up and leave us some love in the comments section. To keep up to date with all of our awesome videos, be sure to hit subscribe and turn your notifications on to never miss a thing. Until next time, do take care of yourself.